My people, welcome to You and I Talk Show with your host, Louise Wachu. We are still in Vancouver, and today on the show, an author whose book that I have read, as you may already know or not know, I love reading, my people. And I love interviewing authors who have written books that I really, really liked. So today on the show, we have Joseph Ghabi, a really interesting book, numerology and other stuff. You're welcome to the show. Let's see what he got to tell us. You and I talk, my people.
You and I talk. 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 Louise Wachu, IMANA&UWACU Productions.
Yeah, Joseph Ghabi, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, thank you for writing this book. This book I read a couple of years ago. I actually still have the Amazon receipt in it. So I know exactly when I ordered it in 2013. And I'm so happy to finally get you in person to ask you about the book. I've also been to one of your events. You're like a healing type of person. So the first thing that I wanted to ask you when I read your book is, how does one land in numerology? And how come you were not scared? Because a lot of people think it's like...
Scared of what?
Crazy stuff. You know, like, what is this guy talking about? Like,
look, I started as an electrical engineer. I have a master in computer science, so numbers are good for me. I'm used to numbers. So when I landed into the first book in my hand, into numerology, I looked at it, oh, it's numbers, it makes sense. Then I start looking deeper into it. And so I followed the instruction of that book. Then I start going inward to see if I have any knowledge from past that I know about the subject, and I start to bring it forward. And that's how I start to work with it, because I'm not into the numerology aspect where I want to tell you a prediction what's going to happen to you. Because in my belief is there is no prediction for anybody if they're stuck somewhere in their life. So you have to free yourself first in order to start seeing where you're going. Because if we're stuck, we're stuck.
So you had a big job. If you can tell people about your big job, and how crazy is it when you have such a big job and then you're like, you know what, I'm out of here.
No, I've been out of here many times. So the first thing, when I finished my master's degree in New York City, 3 months into that, I decided I quit. I didn't even go into the job. I quit. So I moved to Montreal. And in Montreal, where I got into the numerology, I started looking into it. And, I got an offer to become, I became Business Development International Market, responsible in 26 countries. Doing that work, I quit again, because I felt that's not for me. There's something more deeper than just moving boxes or winning a project or stuff like that. So there's something deeper I have to go into. And so I quit the second time. My family still till now, they don't believe I quit that job. So it was a very good job.
Yeah.
I had 26 countries under my belt. I traveled all over the place.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't fulfilling. And this is what people these days...
What is this fulfilling thing? Like, what are you supposed to feel?
Okay, I remember one time I was at 3 in the morning in Dubai, and at 3 in the morning I felt empty. I went to eat, there's nothing. I'm still hungry, I'm still feeling empty. So I picked up myself, I went to Nepal. I did 15 days in silence, meditation. After that, I went to Goa and I sat down on the beach just to recuperate from that meditation. And then I went back to my boss. I said, I quit. That's not for me, because there was something like emptiness inside.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to understand it sometimes because you are in it. And explain it to other people, they won't make sense out of it. Even though most of them, they have that feeling, but they deny it.
So you did not deny it.
I have to do it. I have to get out from what I have to do that. I felt there's something bigger I need to do than being into a job, 9 to 5, sitting behind a desk.
All right. So when we come back from the break, I want to talk about how what is that thing that makes people feel better, that you found. You're feeling a certain emptiness, but then what do you do? And how long? You can tell people what was the process of getting out of that, and how long it took you to go from people thinking you're crazy to actually coming to your seminars and all that, all those things. Okay, so when we come back from the break, we definitely
That would be great.
talk about that.
You and I talk show with Louise IMANA&UWACU. We love you, the authors, the musicians, the comedians, the entrepreneurs, and all other talented and inspiring people. Please contact info@uwacu.com to be a guest on the show.
Welcome back, my people. We're still talking to the author, Joseph Ghabi. So you feel this emptiness, and then you say, okay, I'm going to quit. And then people are telling you, that's crazy. How does that scramble your life? How does you quitting affect like everybody else who does not agree with your decision?
I mean, look, if you're working at a job paying you that much, you go straight down into the bottom to build up yourself. That's not that's not a small decision. So, and it doesn't mean everybody can take it. But at that time, I didn't have kids. I didn't have anything, no responsibility. So technically, I didn't care.
Okay.
So I was able to take a risk, because even today, if it didn't work, I have tons of stuff I can do. So I have a big knowledge, big understanding of many different things. I can fit in many different places. So I'm not worried about that even. So it's a tough decision. The only thing what it played for me, I didn't have a mortgage, which is a big thing. If you don't have a mortgage, you have more freedom in your life. I didn't have kids at that time. So risk is so easy for me.
Yeah.
And this is where the number one obstacle for people, and especially when they got their mortgage and they're still 26 years old. Come on, it's like you're putting a chain on your neck for 35 years to the bank that you cannot do anything or take any risk. Maybe I cannot pay that mortgage.
Yeah.
Then I lose that house. Then all of these stories. And statistically, there's a big percentage of people are in their job, but they hate their jobs.
But so, can everybody do what they love in life? Because it seems to be so hard for people to do what they love, and also, I mean, it's one thing to do what you love, it's another thing to get paid to do what you love. So can everybody do it, or somebody has to clean the streets,
Everybody can do anything they want. Even cleaning the street, you can love doing that. It's something for that person to do it. And they don't have any anger towards it, they don't have any aggravation towards it. They might like doing it. Because we all have a genius zone in us. There's something we enjoy doing. But when you wake up in the morning, you go to your job, I mean, empty, feeling, angry in a way, devastated, you don't want to be there, what's the point of that?
I see. So it's not about the job that you have, and if the job allows you to dress up nice and do the thing, or if the job is respected in society. It's about how you feel about the job.
How you feel.
No matter what the job
Doesn't
is,
matter.
I may think I will never do that job. That's forget about that job for me, but somebody else may enjoy it.
Yes. Like if I'm hiring somebody to work with me, I prefer to have somebody who loves what they're doing. It's their genius zone, because then they don't have the aggravation of doing whatever they're doing, because they love it.
So what if you don't even like to work then?
Well, don't work, but you have to come out with something that makes you happy and provide you what you need to have. So it's not like if you leave tomorrow, you need to have something that you really, really, really makes you tickle inside. And anything that makes you tickle and you love, it can make you a living.
Ah.
Period.
Anything that makes
Anything. Because you'll talk about it from heart, you know how to talk it, and people are attracted to that.
Mm-hmm.
And
people will know if you're faking it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's something you love doing, you love being in it, you like to be involved in it, and you like to teach other people how to do it even.
Uh-huh. So when you do the numerology thing, is that a gift? I mean, did you have a gift or did you have to learn it? I mean, or because it seems to be some people have a gift for it, they're kind of psychic, and other people, is it something that you can teach, you know?
Mm-hmm. Everybody have gifts, but not everybody are afraid to go through them, you know. But everything is learnable also. You can learn it. Now, numerology for me, I learned it in 4 hours.
4 hours?
You know, I took that book, I just looked into it. I started bringing the knowledge from my own soul, what's the knowledge about that, and I've been practicing over 20 years. I'm still till now practicing. Because it's an amazing how you see the chart for somebody, how the soul put the combination of that blueprint on how that person's supposed to be going. And that's an amazing, I still find the amazement into it now. Because it's unbelievable how it's designed.
Okay.
There's nothing by coincidence. There's nothing. And I work with the soul agreements. So if I don't have an agreement with someone, I'm not supposed to work with them. Why I need to work with somebody, I don't have an agreement. And in numerology, I can tell those agreements. I can see it from the date of birth and compare it to me, for example. Then this way you can work with the client that they're supposed to be with you because you signed an agreement with them.
You know, this is something that's very interesting. What about countries? People don't know which date of birth they were born. So if you can't find out which number they are, does that mean that they have no destiny? They'll never know their destiny?
We can assume which date of birth is the closest from storytelling in the whole family, you know, approximately. We have to come out to a date. But everybody have a destiny, even if they don't have their date of birth, they still have. Maybe they have to work harder to figure it out, but we all have, because they were born on a specific date. So it wasn't, they're not born, but it's never been recorded. That's the difference.
Okay.
So if they can follow their grandmother or whoever is to find out what's the approximate date, at least they can come out with something tangible. And they can work on, even if they have to say, I'm going to use that date of birth. I'm going to work with that, then start working with that.
Ah, okay. So when we come back, we're going to get deeper into that.
All right.
You and I talk show with Louise UWACU. We love you, the authors, the musicians, the comedians, the entrepreneurs, and all other talented and inspiring people. Please contact info@uwacu.com to be a guest on the show.
Welcome back to the show, my people. We're still talking about great numerology, like a mystic science. Now, if you've studied numerology, can you look at a person and guess and be like, okay, Louise is that number? Or do you absolutely have to have the dates to know?
Because I've done it for too long, I can tell from the talk how somebody reacts to certain ways. Are they more preservative or more rigid, or they're funny and comedian in nature? And it makes a big difference. Like, if you want to give you an example, if you are into a party and you find 1 or 2 people that they are the loudest, they like to talk or to bring recognition into them, that's a 3 vibration. But if you see somebody sitting in the corner, not approachable by anybody, they're always by themselves, that's a 7. So you can tell from somebody how they are. If somebody always looking to be close with somebody, they don't leave their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, that have a characteristic of a 2, because 2 is duality. They like to be in combo of 2. So you can tell from the characteristic, because your name determines your characteristic. What are you vibrating? So name has a vibration. Now, the only thing for women, they don't need to change, they need to watch their name, because if every time they get married, their life can change for the good or for the bad. So they have to be watching from that perspective. Before I change my name, I need to see, is it working for me or is it not working for me? So
that's a very interesting point. In the African culture, actually, everybody has their own name. I have my name, my father has his name. There's no such thing as a family name.
Okay.
Everyone gets a unique name because they believe that each individual is a unique individual. And I actually used to have problems because people would not believe that me and my siblings are from the same family, or they'd be wondering, how many husbands did your mother have? Because each child has their own name.
But that's a great.
So how does the family name box you into a...
It boxes you into a term of learning. I'm supposed to learn that experience from that family. But now saying that, that's even greater, because if you have your own name, because you are unique. And if you are with this family or that family, you're still unique. But you are into a small box to learn something through that family, because you have a soul agreement with that family. Now, if in the African nation they do it, each one have a name, that's even greater. To me, I prefer that, because it defines your uniqueness. It defines who you are. Now, just you need to know is to learn about you and understand who you are and start working with it from there, and see where your strengths and where your weakness, and start capitalizing on the strengths and getting rid of your weakness.
Wow, that is so fascinating, because, for example, in the case of African Americans who were forced to forget their names or let their names go, and they took on their masters' names, what does that do on a long term?
To be honest, from my perspective to it, the soul is aware of that.
Oh, really? The soul?
Is because the soul planned this lifetime for specific experiences. So it could be that the term is finished from the first one. Now we're going into the next phase of life with that new name. As long as you don't drag one name and you keep one name and start juggling two names, then you become lost, confused, because now you have two different vibrations.
Okay.
If you say, okay, this one, it was my first experience, I'll have to let it go. God bless it, and finish the story. Let me concentrate on the new name now, what's given to me for the next journey. You know, if we separate that, we'll be good. But most of the time, we don't. We don't, and this is where we end up into problems.
Wow. So your name can cause you problems, and you're there unconscious,
you know, vibration.
Thinking I have a beautiful name.
It's vibration. Your name has vibration. Every letter has energy to it, and that's where the vibration change. If you change one letter in your name, it can completely change something that you have been missing for all your life. Only one small letter. And when I do the full chart with somebody, I will look into what's missing in that name and see if we can make some adjustment to it, to make, you know, to lessen the problems. You know.
This is so interesting. The other thing I wanted to ask you is, let's say somebody is a certain number, 1. Isn't that boxing the person into a box? Okay, they're number 1, and that's how you judge them. And we're supposed to be infinite beings in an infinite world. How can somebody be just one number?
You're not one number.
Oh.
I never said that. Your destiny could be 1. You're going from that direction, but you have other facets that you need to look along the journey. Because your destiny is not about the destination, it's about the journey. And your name has some part of that journey to it. So if you have one number, doesn't mean nothing to me about you. You're one number, but it is what's a combo of everything together that makes the best out of you, who you are, and what you're here to play. Because it's not the destiny, it's only the destiny that we're going after. We're going after different facets that we have through our name that also push us towards that destiny. You need to understand your journey, that's all it is.
you need to understand your journey. Otherwise, you're on this planet and going here, going there.
You keep going different direction, different road. If you don't have knowledge of your own blueprint, how it's been designed to you, and what's your weakness and strengths again, because it is very important to have. If you have any challenges, what are those challenges? And it immediately you say, oh my God, this is happening in my childhood. That's because it was there.
Yeah.
It wasn't by coincidence. There's no coincidence in life. There's soul agreements. You go through the experience because of the soul agreements. Once you finish it, you can cut that agreement and move on.
That's so great. When we come back, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about how you help people. What kinds of problems do people come to you with, and how you actually help them. Thank you so much for being here.
You and I talk show with Louise UWACU. We love you, the authors, the musicians, the comedians, the entrepreneurs, and all other talented and inspiring people. Please contact info@uwacu.com to be a guest on the show.
Welcome back, my people. You and I talk show with Louise UWACU. Still talking to Joseph Ghabi. Thank you so much for being here. It's so fascinating. When I read your book, I was like, oh, I gotta ask him this, I gotta ask him that. So how do you help people? And what kind of people come to you? What do they need? And how does it change them when you, whatever the magic that you do on them, how does it change them?
It's not magic, it's with their free will. So there's no magic to it. First of all, I need to learn about their blueprint, what they're made of, once they start identifying, when I go through that consultation in the beginning to see what's their blueprint, and for them to see one spot in the beginning what happened, then immediately they start to have a conscious awareness of what's going on. Now, from numerology, I developed the healing childhood experiences. So, because if you cannot go into the destiny if you're stuck, so you need to go up and start walking, but you cannot walk from under. So you're sitting under, you're sitting in a hole that I'm not seeing anything, So we need to get out first. So that on the bottom is your childhood. So I'll go and help them with the childhood experiences to get rid of it in a fast way. Usually, I don't like to go for more than 4, maximum 6 months. So it's not a lifetime process.
Yeah.
Because if you're ready to do it, you're ready to do it. If you're not, well, we'll wait till you're ready.
Yeah.
Because it's a waste of time.
One thing I read in your book that was so interesting is how important your childhood actually is.
It is. It's everything.
So if you have a bad childhood, is that over for you?
No.
You can forget your adult life?
No, your childhood is the piece of the childhood that you can understand. If you use it in a positive way, this is where your destiny is supposed to go. So some people are more luckier to have a tougher childhood because they have bigger things to accomplish. But what happened, we feel I'm a victim now of my parents, of my society, of my culture, of my religion, of my whatever is that happened, and then they lose the track. No, but what's this trying to teach you? What's the lesson in it for you? Why your soul made a decision or signed a contract with your parents to be there? They signed for a reason. Get that reason. Once you get that, it could be one word, it could be a sentence, it could be a phrase, it doesn't matter. It could be I'm learning from my dad to be more self-assertiveness, whatever it is, or bring to stand up for myself, And you take that becomes your quality now.
So you're saying if I had like a dad who was so tough,
you have more experiences with that dad.
So what was the point?
This is
I'll be complaining about the childhood getting beaten,
yes.
And you're saying it's a good thing?
It's a good thing because, okay, you've been beaten, but you have to talk with, first of all, the way I look at it, we have to go into certain experiences with dad, for example. From dad, you say, what feeling I had with few instances that happened with him. Like, you take those feelings, how you felt. It's the feeling are the most important, not the story.
Like I want to fight back.
Yeah, but what's going to get you?
Wow.
If you fight back, is it going to solve the problem?
No.
If the feeling's still inside of you.
Okay.
it's not going to make a difference because you're going to see it in a boyfriend, in a girlfriend, in a boss, or whoever it is. You're going to give you exact same experience of your dad if you never understood it. This is why we keep attracting similar experiences in life. How many times you heard it? I keep attracting the same boyfriend in my life. I keep attracting the same jobs in my life. I keep attracting the same whatever it is. Because we keep doing the same thing, because we never understood the previous problems.
Oh. Because we were so busy crying about it.
Crying about it.
And blaming the other person for doing it.
We're living as a victim, in a victim mode until we wake
but
up.
It's so nice to be a victim.
Yeah, but you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere.
People have pity on you.
Yeah, because...
Like, oh, you suffered.
Yeah, poor you.
Yeah.
The poor you syndromes.
Yeah.
But it's not going to get you where you're supposed to be. Because the bigger your problems on the bottom, is the bigger your outcome.
Damn. Thank you so much, Joseph, for being here. I don't think we can cover everything at the same time, but please tell people what are you doing and where they can find you and how they can find you and what kind of people should contact you.
And anybody who feels stuck, out of life directions, they don't know where they're going, where they're coming, they're lost in their identity, or anybody who would like to find out about their blueprint, the basic blueprint, they can go to freespiritcenter.ca. I'm in Vancouver, so freespiritcenter.ca, they have any information about me, or they can contact me on Facebook also.
All right. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Audrey.
Oh, so happy. We'll probably talk again.
All right.
Thank you, my people, for being here. Great episode. Check him out and check us out. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.